Time and time again over the past few years, I've been drawn by the public lake fishing France has to offer. Last year, I saw myself venture over the channel 4 times in pursuit of an adventure and big French carp. Each trip came with its twists and turns, pros and cons, but each time I visited, I fell in love with that sense of freedom. This trip was no different, and as we drove down the long winding French roads, we could have never have imagined what we were about to get ourselves into. You're in, mate. You're in. With the trip being penciled in the diary just 3 weeks prior, it was a rush to sort the kit out for every eventuality we thought we might be faced with. The departure date soon came upon us, and in what seemed like a blink of an eye, we were on the road to Folkestone. As we boarded the Eurotunnel, we had to pinch ourselves. We were actually doing it. We were on our way to France. A quick stop at the infamous petrol station to check the Baitworks sticker was still stuck strong, and then the journey really started. Hello and welcome to France. Behind my shoulder is a lake that is 700 acres in size, and over the next 4 or 5 nights you'll be joining us every step of the way, where hopefully myself and my mate Rich can manage to catch one of the carp that reside in this lake. We arrived today, you might be able to see Rich's van over my shoulder, and yeah, we couldn't actually get to this side of the lake where we saw a couple of fish and where we wanted to be fishing, so we had to load all the boats, get all the way over here just in one boat, so we had to do a couple of trips. We've just arrived, it's about 4 o'clock now, and we've had a massive walk round. It's all a bit crazy. It's not very busy, which is pretty good, but yeah, we have to pump this boat up. Leaving the van over there, and I'm heading that way in the wind. And it's quite windy. Woo. And wavy. Jeez. And then spend the past few hours getting the rods out, and I'm not gonna lie, it's almost about to get dark. The rods are out there. I'm not sure if we'll be able to catch or not tonight, but I'm absolutely over the moon that we're here. We've got our baits and rigs out there, and who knows, so over the next 4 or 5 nights, like I said, hopefully we'll be lucky enough to have a few. I'm absolutely knackered. Rich is absolutely knackered. He's done about 10-13 hours driving today, something like that. I have no idea. It's been absolutely bonkers. Yeah, we need to get this life jacket off, have a sit down, have a bit of food, and then get some rest, and hopefully tomorrow wake up with a fresh head, get some rigs out again, a bit more bait out, properly find some spots, because it was a bit here or there this evening. Properly find some spots, shake off this cold, and yeah, like we said, hopefully over the next few nights able to catch a couple. Well, we've woken up early on our first day here, and yeah, it's pretty overcast. The sun is just about to come up. It's pretty chilly, to be honest, like a proper spring morning, but we're not complaining at all, because this place is absolutely incredible. It looks the part, and it is so quiet. Last night it dropped off, the wind completely dropped off, a bit like this morning, and we couldn't hear anything. It was so quiet. The birds were kind of all quiet as well, and yeah, it was a bit eerie to be honest, because we really felt like we're in the middle of nowhere, and we are, to be honest, miles away from any civilization. And after the manic day we had yesterday, of getting over here and getting rods out, we just had to go to sleep. So we put a bit of food on. I literally didn't film anything yesterday, but I put a bit of food on, and yeah, we had to hit the sack, knowing that it's going to be a busy week and we'll be up early this morning looking. Yeah, it was a hellish day yesterday because we were very, very tired, but you can't complain, can you, when in a place like this and it is this beautiful. It's all worth it.
The rain came in, and in the end we were bivvy bound for the majority of the morning. There was something quite peaceful about sitting there, watching the tiny droplets of rain adding themselves one by one to the 700-acre lake.
Well, it's just coming into late afternoon now, and you can probably hear I'm pretty damn ill, and Rich is as well. We're both struggling a little bit, you could say. Got really bad cold, I've got a headache, but we're motoring on. We've just got all the rods out, but you might see this just hanging up here, and I opted for a little bait really this time. I thought something a bit subtler might do the trick, but I just got picked up by a bream. Really, yeah, disgusting little bream. So unhooked it, put it back, and I'm about to head back out there, which was a bit of a shame because, like I said, we had all the rods out and we just sat down, had our first sip of Guinness, and I'm not even joking, just opened this, had a first sip, and yeah, I saw the rod tip knocking, and I thought pretty much instantly it was a tench or a bream. So yeah, bit unfortunate, but I'm going to quickly whip this one back out. Dead easy, back to a marker, about 2 rod lengths short. Little sprinkling of tigers over the top. Set them back down, and yeah, sun's out now, so hopefully brings the fish onto the feed. We woke up this morning and we've had a little change of heart. As much as we love this place and experience some amazing sunrises, sunsets, it just feels like we've hit it a bit too early in spring, and yeah, the fish aren't really on the feed. So like I said, we've done a couple of nights on here, and I woke up this morning with a bit more energy, still suffering from my cold, but we're going to motor through it and we're going to go somewhere else. So we're going to quickly get everything in the boat. So I've already done one trip to the other side, quickly whip the rods in, and yeah, quickly nip to the shops and try and get to this a new venue that we have, and we'll see what on earth happens. But it's been absolutely manic so far, and hopefully it can only get better. Right, so you can probably tell we've moved lakes completely. We've been round about 3 or 4 others. They were either busy or we just didn't fancy it. We've ended up coming to this lake behind me, which is yeah, very nice lake indeed. But all the night zones are taken, but we really fancy one of these day zones. So it's a bit hectic at the moment. Pump up boats. Yeah, it's not quite what I'm used to seeing. or a big change from the last lake, because there's a bridge there, cars going behind us and everywhere. It feels pretty bustling, but yeah, cross fingers. We get all this kit done, turn the camera off, and then catch a few this evening. We've got our rods out. We're fishing quite shallow water. The sun's not really out today, and it's quite cold. We both just had to put jumpers on because, yeah, we're not really feeling too warm, and we're just feeling that in this shallow water, fishing this day zone, it's not quite the one. So we've got a big decision on our hands this evening. Obviously we've only been here an hour, but we obviously have rods out, but we're not really feeling it that much. So it is whether to stay here or stay in the region and fish another lake round here, or drive a good 3 or 4 hours to another lake, bearing in mind we've only got about 3 or 4 nights left. So yeah, we have a big decision on our hands, and yeah, I don't really know what you're thinking, Rich, but I'm thinking maybe
big move.
We pack up this evening just after dark. We give it enough time here, see if something happens. Not overly confident, but you never know, do you? But yeah, big move. And you up for a drive?
Up for a drive.
Up for a drive. That's what I like to hear, because yeah, I think there might be a fair old drive on our hands to get out this sort of region into somewhere else. Maybe it's a bit warmer, who knows, bit different weather and a new lake.
And that's exactly what we did, driving through the night, arriving at the new lake at 2 in the morning. Being met by the banks of the lake being covered in shells, we put some food on and went to sleep next to the boat launch.
Well, we've woken up this morning and we've been woken up to a very angry Frenchman saying no fishing at all on this lake. So we have to go and drive another hour and a half to another lake, our 6th lake now. This trip's getting hard.
And it was about to get even harder. After an hour drive, we set up, pumped the boats up at a new lake, only to find out that there was no fishing in this zone where we found the fish.
Well, we're unloading the van again. Got to another venue, I think number 7 now, and for once we're actually happy with it, aren't we, Rich? We want to fish as well, so no boats on here, so something a bit different. We're casting, no nights as well, so we'll have to abide by the rules, of course. We've actually driven. Basically, there was no sign saying you can't drive up here, but you probably shouldn't drive up here. We did it anyway, so we're a bit closer to the swim. Obviously, you can't put all your kit on a boat, so we have got a barrow, so we'll just do that. And yeah, we'll unload this van for the 7th time, or whatever it is. Hopefully, we can get some rods out this evening, and I've said this too many times, but catch a few carp. Hopefully. And not get bored and go to another lake. Well, we decided to get bags out on the spot just for the days, as we got here quite late on, maybe about 3 o'clock, and yeah, it took a little bit of time to. You're in, mate. You're in. Is that a tench?
It was just that. We had 7 rods out that day. Every single rod went with a tench. Later on in the trip, it was a blessing in disguise as we changed our tactics up for the following morning.
This morning, something pretty crazy happened. You can probably see here, I've got a very wet hoodie, and that's because we've just caught the biggest carp of both of our lifetimes. And yeah, you might sound a bit odd me saying that. We have caught the carp, but it was a joint effort, a massive joint effort, in the trip, in the driving, in the everything. Looking around so many lakes, helping each other with the fishing side on the boats, carrying kit to swims, all of this different things. It has just been a huge joint effort.
The story of this first fish was one for another day, but that morning we could sit back. Mission accomplished.
Well, something crazy happened last night. Early morning, this fish picked us up. 55 pound 10 ounces is both of our fish. We can't really say it's one or the others. This carp is very special. A 55 pounder. It's very heavy indeed. The biggest carp we've ever caught in our lives. Ain't that right, Rich?
Yeah.
And yeah, that has completely made everything after the massive struggles of the past week. This fish is hurting my back. Oh, I can't get down. That hurts, man. I'm also sitting here about to tell you I've got another fish in the net as well. Literally 10 minutes after, 20 minutes after maybe putting that fish back, we already got the rods out before. Yeah, I've had a tenchy sort of bite on one of my rods, and I've caught what looks like a very nice 30 pound mirror. Wow, we are absolutely over the moon. All the effort put in this week, it's finally come good. And yeah, just look at this.
This mirror, ounces under the 40 pound mark, was just the first of many fish for myself and Rich that morning.
Well, there's been no time to have a bit of a chill on this trip. We've either been running around lakes or sleeping in car parks or whatever. But yeah, I took a minute. I was actually on my phone for the first time in what has felt like weeks. Just replying to a few people that I haven't messaged, and yeah, no time to relax because I'm in again. Absolutely bonkers. Well, there we have it, a 52 pounder of French mirror carp. Absolute back-breaking material, but it's an absolute brute. The width of it is ridiculous. It's about a foot wide, the thing. God, didn't really put up a massive scrap. The longer one did, but oh my god, this is hurting my back. I am so happy that after all this time we've managed to get in some carp, and my biggest common and my biggest mirror in a day. Absolutely giant. What a carp that is. 52 pounds of French mirror. Over the moon.
With the rods back out, it was time for Rich to get into a few. The pure smiles on our faces and the true elation we felt that morning reminded both of us of the real reason we went carp fishing. We both savoured that moment, knowing full well that this was turning out to be a trip of a lifetime.
Bloody hell, he's hard to hold. Well, there you have it, a very odd shaped 42 pound mirror. Rich has had 2 more fish. He's having an incredible session on the numbers, and I've been seeming to catch as many as him, but a bit bigger. It's been a bit odd. Maybe it's the side of swims we're fishing, but yeah, this one's a very angry, oddly shaped, hard to hold 42 pound mirror, which is absolutely bonkers. He's riding up, so I reckon a couple of snaps, whack him back, and Rich, you better get some rods out, mate, because you've only got 1 out and I've got 4, so I'll put this one down. It's hurting my wrists and back, and yeah, let's crack on. Oh, am I in?
Well, I wasn't in, but the heavens did open. pushing the fish out of the shallower bay that I was fishing out into open water where Rich had placed a couple of his rods. He kept catching that afternoon in the deep water, slowly repositioning his rods deeper and deeper towards the dam end. His effort paid off with some stunning 30-pound mirrors. Well, not all of them.
I've got a rod in now, so I thought I'd actually take the time, as it's quiet as well, to show you exactly what I'm using, and it's probably not a surprise to any of you. Leg clip, as you can see, with a tail rubber not really on at all, because I want to be dropping the lead straight away. They plug in anyway to the silt, and as soon as the carp picks it up I want to be dropping the leads. Luckily I told myself and Rich to pack the casting leads, because otherwise we'd be very stuck without them on here, because it's no boats and no nights. Business end, straight from out the bag, Atlantic heat, 18mm boilie with a 15mm. It's just got a bit muddy now, it's fell on the floor, but 15mm pineapple pop up on top as well. 4-ounce lead, 3 or 4-ounce lead, whatever I really have in the bag. Just trying to get the distance we need.
The morning came round and we rechucked the rods again, once again putting a couple of spoms out of tiger nuts over the rods to hopefully tempt a bite.
Well, there we have it, a lovely 44-pound mirror. This thing rucked like an absolute beast. It's yeah, it took so much line on the initial take, and yeah, really hurt my arms trying to pull him in, but slipped in the net. And yeah, today's been a little bit more quiet, to be honest. We only picked off this one. It might be because of the rain's coming down and the wind's up. It's a lot colder, and we feel that we've seen a few jump a bit further out, and maybe they've just pushed off us under a bit of pressure, and yeah, we can't really quite get into them. We can't cast that far basically, so yeah, I'm more than over the moon of the session we've had with another 40-pounder. It's been absolutely ridiculous, and just a prime example of what these French public lakes can offer. An absolute session of a lifetime, and if this one is the last carp of our trip, I'm really not complaining. It has been a massive adventure. We've had so much fun, so many laughs. My lungs are absolutely burning, partly because I've got a very bad illness, but also because, yeah, we've been in stitches the whole time. It's been such good fun. I've got to put this down because my back's aching. We've done a hell of a lot of lifting big carp and moving swims and everything else that comes along with it. But I suppose that's what makes these moments even more better in the French rain. Oh, absolutely over the moon. Come on, Rich, jump in. One last lift. I don't think my biceps can do it. Oh. There we go. That is what it's all about. What a time, eh? What a time. Let's get him back. Thank you very much, Carp.
Red button?
Red button. Hope I was filming.